the global reach. Welcome to another edition of The Coffee Break, where we have Judge Yolanda Huff. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on today. So, Judge Huff, let's just jump right into it. Okay. You are from San Antonio?
Well, no, I've been here for almost 28 years now, but I was born in Texas, but I was raised in North Carolina. Hey. We moved back here when I was in high school. So I did end up graduating from high school in Austin, went to UT Austin undergrad, and what got me to San Antonio was law school. Okay. I've been here ever since. I got out of law school in 96. I hit the grounds of the courthouse in 97. I've been here ever since.
Okay. And what do you think pulled you to law? What attracted you to that field?
I don't know, because I've been wanting to be a lawyer ever since I was 11 years old. Really? 11 years old. I've always said to my family, they all knew I was going to be a lawyer. I can't remember the event that made me want to be a lawyer.
You must like to debate.
Yeah, that is true. I do like to argue. My family does say I talk a lot. I argue a lot.
Okay, well that's a good thing. Yeah,
somebody's gonna put it to good use, right?
Right, it makes you a passionate lawyer that wins cases.
There you go. There you go.
I also read that you are a single mom of 3 kids.
Single mom of 3. My last, he's at Texas Tech now. Yeah, I'll be at the nest soon.
Do you go to the games and shout for your?
Well, Texas Tech is like 7 hours away, right? But I just moved him back into his dorms about a couple of weeks ago. So he's getting settled in with his roommates. So.
Did any of your kids choose to go into law?
No, they were like, no way. So that's hard. They were not. Now, my older son graduated from Texas State. He did pledge Omega Psi Phi. He's lives in Austin with his wife. She's a school teacher. She graduated from Prairie View, so they were kind of like college sweethearts. And my middle daughter is transferring over to UTSA. She wants to be a school teacher. And my youngest is at Texas Tech now. But none of them know law. No, not at all.
Okay. Judge Huff, let me just say, overwhelmingly, what I got from you is that you are a judge. Yes, you are, but you have the heart of a social worker. Okay.
I think that's true. That's fair. I think that's very fair to say.
Yeah, because just researching and looking at a lot of the things that you're involved in, the court, the whole system that you're, involved in here in San Antonio, I feel like you really help people on a different level than just judicial.
Yeah, I really believe that my duty to the public does not stop at the courthouse door. And one of my big missions, and since I've taken the bench, is just I really care about educating the public. To me, knowledge, the more you know, knowledge. I want my kids to have it. I want people around me to have it. I mean, you could tell my children's friends, they come over, you getting educated too. Like everybody getting educated.
You sound like my grandma.
Like, you going to the museum with me too. I mean, like it's just like the more you know, the better decisions you can make for your life. The better your life would. I mean, I just had this all my life that I just want the children, people around me to know, to be better educated. So when I took the bench, it's just like, let me demystify what it is about the courthouse that the people in the community don't know. Like, come here, get educated, because I don't think that people knew in 2018 when I was running that there was not one elected black judge on the bench. Now, and this was the same year that all those 19 judges were getting elected, black women were getting elected in Houston.
Wow.
In San Antonio, we didn't even have one.
Wow.
Now, I know a lot of the judges in Dallas, because there was 15 black women getting elected in Dallas, right? I went to law school with Judge Rocky Jones. She's on the bench there. And I mean, we just got, San Antonio got I don't know, no one interviewed us about it. And I would tell people as I was campaigning, there's not one elected black judge in a county that has 2 million people.
Wow.
People did not believe me. Few people knew. I would say, raise your hand if you notice. Maybe one hand would go up. And I would be like, so people don't know. Like,
so why do you think that was, though? Do you think black women weren't running for that office?
Oh, no.
Or just...
Judge Boyd had ran like 2 times. The time she won with me was her 3rd time running. Wow. It just could not, like, okay, Judge Carmen Kelsey was on the bench. She got put on the bench, and if I'm not mistaken, in 1989 by Ann Richards. That's how long ago. Ann Richards was one of the few women governors in Texas. So once you get put on the bench, then it's easy to run and win. So no black person could just run and win in Bexar County. Now, Judge Andrew Carruthers, he's on the bench. He's an associate judge, but an associate judge serves at the pleasure of the elected judges.
I never knew that was a thing either. I never heard of an associate judge. I just thought you weren't or you were.
Yeah. Well, when the court gets so big, you need help. So they'll hire an attorney to be an associate judge. A lot of the juvenile cases use them, and CPS cases, because so many, they have like 3 associate judges. And on the criminal side, like they have an associate judge to hear a lot of pretrial matters, competency hearings, things of that nature. And that's what Judge Carruthers does. And he could not win. It just couldn't be done. Like we had never had a black judge that tried to win and just straight out run and try to win until in 2018 we did it. Those 3 black judges. It was truly history making.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know that San Antonio didn't have any prior to 2019.
Well, I mean, we had some, but at the time when I was running 2018, we didn't have, at that current time, there was none on the bench.
Wow.
But we had never had more than 1 black judge serving at a time, ever in Bexar County. And people have challenged me on that, like, go read it, go look it up yourself.
Look it up for yourself.
Look it up yourself,
right?
So when we got 3 black judges on the bench at one time, that truly was history. Now, so our time is up. We're up for re-election.
Okay.
Like this November, I am on, every last one of us, all 3 of us got primary opponents. Meaning that someone went to knock us off the bench. In the light, I mean, you read for yourself all the stuff I've done, all the changes. And I had this primary opponent, a kid. He only been a lawyer 5 years in the DA's office.
Okay.
I told them, have you researched me?
Do you know who I am?
Have you researched me? Dude, I don't stop. I was very bold, like, you're not going to win. Like, I'm sorry. He was very offended.
Did you say that to him?
I said that to him. I said, have you researched me? Because there's a lot of other judges you can run against that don't work like me. Like, all you got to do is go to my Facebook and Instagram.
Right. You better put some respect on my name.
Dude, I do not stop. He made a bad decision. He lost. I won by 61%, right? I told him, you should have researched me. Like, 'cause I don't stop. Not even joking.
Wow. But you know what? I feel like just like researching you, looking at all the different courts that, are available to people here. Can you tell us a little bit about some of because it's 13 or 14?
Well, okay. So I preside over County Court 12. It is a criminal misdemeanor bench. Okay. So there are 15 county courts in Bexar County. Now, in those county courts are 5 specialty courts. Okay. We have
it's the specialty courts. That's what I'm referring to.
A treatment court, a specialty court, a drug court. We use those names interchangeably, all the same thing. So I have the mental health court in County Court 12. Judge Gonzalez has the domestic violence court. We have a veterans court, a drug court, and a DWI court on the misdemeanor level. And there are more on the felony level. We have the Esperanza court, human trafficking and prostitution. We have a felony drug court. We have a felony veterans court. We even have the CPS family drug court. And a lot of the juvenile courts have some of the specialty courts. Right. So there are a lot. There are a lot of 14 altogether in Bexar County that people are into the judiciary with unique issues like mental health, drugs, alcohol.
Yeah. So I was just amazed because I mean that's my field. You know, as a licensed clinical social worker, mental health is my thing. So I was already like, I like her. I like her. She's in mental health.
I mean, really, I do not believe people with mental health should be in jail.
Right.
They decomp. It is not good. To me, it is a waste of taxpayer money. We should be trying to help them get on their feet. You know, I can tell you briefly the history of specialty courts in America because, see, the first one started in 1989. And if, like me, I'm dating myself here. If you remember during that time in the 80s and the 90s, the sentiment in America was build more prisons, privatize prisons, lock them up longer, throw away the keys, send the people the problem with drug problem. How are you going to send someone to prison with a drug problem? You send someone to prison with a heroin addict, they're going to come right back as a heroin addict, right? So this one professor in Florida thought of a unique way of treating people that enter the judiciary with drugs. How do we treat this person to get them the true help they need so they won't keep cycling in and out?
Over and over again.
So, and he started the first drug court. And since then, now over the whole America, we have over 4,000 of these courts. 14 in Bexar County, over 700 in the state of Texas. And I just went to the biggest conference. It's called the NADC, it's the National Association of Drug Court Professionals. It's the biggest conference for all these specialty courts because these specialty courts operate off guidelines. We have to answer to the headquarters in D.C. Like, we cannot just operate how we want. We get audited every 3 years. Are we following best practices? Are we following the guidelines of what a true specialty court is? And that's what makes the program so successful because we're following the guidelines.
Right, because I've heard you talk about the rapid wraparound services.
The wraparound services and everything.
But I think that's ridiculous. Somebody comes in, they clearly have mental health issues, or maybe they're on meds, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you just throwing them in jail, or you throwing them in prison, and they're going to go right back to whatever they're doing before. Yeah.
Like in Bexar County, I've seen people have criminal mischief or criminal trespass, right? Little crime. It's just a B misdemeanor. The most I can sentence them to is 180 days in the Bexar County jail. Well, I'll see those over and over 20 times, 30 times, 35 times.
Yeah.
And I know what's happening there is that this person is down at the local store, little corner store, and they're harassing people, and they're asking people for money. They have a mental health and usually drug problems. The clerk finally gets tired, calls the police, they're arrested, go to jail, get a court-appointed attorney. The court-appointed attorney takes them to jail court, and by them being in jail 2 or 3 days, the judge pronounces it judgment satisfied.
Right.
They're out of jail, and they're back on that corner again.
Wow.
And it just goes over and over until someone truly gets them that true help that they need.
Right. So this is what I was wondering too. I said, now I wonder if anybody ever comes into your courtroom and they're pretending to have a mental health issue just so they don't have to go to jail.
Well, I mean, they could try. I mean, I tell people we have people in jail, and their choice is they're going to jail or they can choose to go into the mental health court. And I just had a young man do that. He was on the Zoom. He was in jail. We got him into the mental health, and we were going to release him over to Haven for Hope. He had an assault case against his mom. And I told him, you may think that you're trying to pull the wool over. You just want to get out of jail. But sir, I need you to go get that GPS put on, and I need you to go straight over to Haven for Hope and get registered. He got out of jail, boom, he was in the wind.
Yeah.
And he showed up to court late because once he pleads into the mental health court, then he gets his first court appearance with me, right? Because they meet often with me, sometimes once a week. And when he came in, I said, you did not do those 2 things I told you to do. You're going back to jail today. Oh my God, he almost had a mental breakdown right there. No, Judge, please, Judge, I'll do it, begging, pleading.
Right.
I was like, I told you, I mean business. Like, I mean, wasn't
so you tough.
Yeah, it wasn't a suggestion. It was an order. Oh yeah, they called me Judge Huff is firm but loving. Like, you remind me of my mom. That's what it takes, and that's what it takes, right? But I'm firm but loving because that's what they need. They come in, they're manipulators. They're on the streets, and they have this is how they make, and like they're pushing the envelope with me to see how far they can go. And I said, okay, it was Monday. You have till Wednesday to get that GPS on and get registered at Haven for Hope. And then, the case manager's on the team. Okay, Judge, you got it all done. Like, okay, then. And then so he keeps going back to his grandfather's. His grandfather's in his 80s. And they don't want him there. He causes trouble and disruption.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, my dear child. I'm going to have to, it's just like they get acclimated to the program.
Right.
Like, this program is not punitive. I don't want to punish you. I want what you want. I want what your family wants. I'm like, you don't deserve to be in jail. Your purpose is not to be in jail.
Exactly.
You have a purpose. And I'm talking to them because I talk straight and bold to them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? And I'm telling them, you reading me? Am I for real? Does Judge Huff mean what I'm saying? Do I want to help you? You have the ability to read me. Listen to what I'm saying. Because you get acclimated to this program. It's 12 months long. Hearing what I'm saying, I mean, and
I like that too. I like that element that is 12 months long because, I mean, people can go into a program a week or two and they can play the game and get out and go right back. But I think for that long and to be held by those strict measures, they're gonna change. You have no choice but to do something.
And sometimes I feel that 12 months is not even enough. The defense attorneys, they'll complain because they'll say, why should I send my client to your program for 12 months when he could be out on the streets in 2 days? I said, because he's going to be right back in jail again.
Because they don't care. They don't care.
No. I mean, I'll tell them, look, if you have someone that's a prostitute for 10 years, they're a heroin addict for 8 years, is 12 months enough to get that person on their feet?
Right.
It's just a starting off point, really. It
is.
Because it takes a lot. I mean, so this program is 12 months long, right? They have to call the UA, that's the urinalysis analysis, to see. They have to call that line.
Every day.
Every day, 365 days, every single, and it will randomly tell them they have to go and take a drug test
That's
that day.
scary.
And I tell them, that's the low-hanging fruit because you're going to do that every day.
Right.
I should not even be having a lecture with you.
Right.
And I'm having a lecture steadily with them about this, right?
I heard you say that they give you all kind of excuses.
Oh, my goodness.
Like somebody comes in and they say why do you have alcohol in your system? You're like, I had beer battered shrimp yesterday. For lunch.
I haven't heard that before, right?
Okay, now wait a minute.
Yeah, it goes, oh my goodness. I mean, it's just overall. I mean, I'm telling them, look, we understand that relapse is a part of recovery. You don't have to lie. Honesty is the bedrock of this program because we're taking the information that you're giving. Judge, I'm sorry, I did meth for the weekend. Okay, now how do we work with you? Because you don't want to be on drugs, do you? They're like, no. I told one guy that, I said, you don't want to be on drugs, do you? And he was like, you guys are not helping me. I'm like, dude, we set you up with an inpatient program. Your next step is to walk into that program. He just like won't go in. He tells us we're not helping him. And this is how I explained it to him. I said, if you wanted a hole dug in your backyard, I'm going to give you the shovel to dig that hole. You got to dig that hole. He was like, oh, like it just a light bulb went off in his head. And then he says, he comes to court, well, Judge, I got money in my pocket. I feel good. All his money, all his whole check would go to drugs. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you want to spend money with your grandchildren. You don't want to be spending all your money on drugs. Is this the life you want to live? They don't. Nobody wants to live a life like it's chaos. It is. Because one of the first questions I'll ask them is, you ready for the chaos to stop? You're living that life. I'm not even living that life. I can tell you it's chaotic, right? And they will be like, yes, okay, let's get to work doing.
Why do you think you have such a heart for people that way, though?
I don't know. I mean, I do. I mean, it's just, I guess it's just the way I am. I love helping people. I love people getting on their feet. I love people to be independent, like when you're not needing someone else. Because if you have the knowledge and you're doing well and you're working, you're independent and you're not dependent on other people. And that's truly the way I feel. Like that's how I feel. You know, I'm a single mom, and my 3 kids. My kids are that way too. Right. Like my mom gives. You know, my mom pays for what I need. Like I don't have to ask for any help from anyone because that gives you a sense of pride about yourself when I can stand on my own 2 feet. And I guess I just want to help other people feel like that too. Like that sense of pride in yourself. You can do this. And I'll tell them there is nothing special about me, Judge Huff. If I can do it, you can do it too. There's nothing special about me.
Well, you know, and I heard you say that as well. But I beg to differ. I think you're very special.
Well, I mean, I'm saying in the sense that they too can do what I'm doing. Like there's really, I mean that. One time my son was little. My oldest son was younger, and his friends were all, I'm like the Kool-Aid mom. His friends were always over, and they would always ask me about being a lawyer and everything. And then I would say, you can do it too. And my son, he said, Mom, why do you keep saying that to people? I said, because I really believe it. Like, if they want to be a lawyer, there's nothing that can stop them from being a lawyer. He didn't like me saying that to his friends. He's like, it is hard to be a lawyer. Like, no, it's not. It's just one step at a time. How do you walk 1,000 miles one step at a time?
That's powerful because I think a lot of these like professions, people get in their head and they're like, oh, I can't be a doctor, I can't be a lawyer because it's too much. I'm not smart enough to do that. I can't do whatever. But it's like, no, literally one step at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah. And I'll tell them, I don't think there's anything that you can't do. If you want it bad enough, if you want that thing, you can do it. To me, there's no limit. I mean, I cannot tell you to the depth of my heart how much I believe that. That if you want something in life bad enough, you will get it. Yeah. There's nothing to me that I want that I don't get. I tell my daughter that all the time. She's like, I believe you, Mom. If you want it bad enough, you're going to get it.
Right. So let me ask you, you know, the judge, you seem like you're at the top of your game right now. You're beating other, opponents that are trying to come for your title.
Trying to come for me, right?
What are some other things that you want to accomplish at this stage in your career?
Well, I love traveling. It's more and more places. Like we're a big travel. Like I bought my children experiences and not things. Like all over. We're going to Mexico. We're going to Canada. We're like everywhere. Even my little 7-year-old granddaughter, she goes everywhere. Like she's gone to New York with us, Chicago, Atlanta, North Carolina. Like I'm taking her to, because the more children see, the more their minds open. It's not, see, there are other cultures out there different from you. Open that. So I'm a big traveler. I want to travel so much.
Next destination. What's your next destination?
Well, we were planning to go to Ghana right before COVID hit. We were going to land in Accra. We had mapped it all out. We were going to go by London. My youngest, that's what he's gone from his major being geology. He wants to be a paleontologist, the study of dinosaur bones, to now he wants to study ancient Africa, right? Okay. So if you have that kid on, he could tell you everything about Africa, every kingdom from 10,000 even further than that. And we're driving somewhere, Mom, listen to this podcast. I'm like, who listens to a podcast of a lecture from a professor at Berkeley in California? And it'll be interesting. Like, so we're driving to Lubbock and we listen to it's like, this professor has some interesting lectures. I was laughing.
How old is he?
He's 20.
Wow.
But if you listen to these podcasts, right, about like it's so interesting. So we were going to go to Ghana, everything shut down. So now we have to replan the whole trip again. But that would be our next big trip. But probably like, I'm one of those people that I plan everything out way far, right?
In
so
advance.
like in advance. So like my trip, we just all went 15 of us to Disney World.
Okay.
If you look at my Facebook page. And so it's like my son, all three of my kids, and my daughter-in-law's 2 sisters and their kids. And so, but I had that trip planned out September for next June. So my trip for next June, we're going, asked the kids if they wanted to go to San Francisco. We'd never been to San Francisco. And that's the trip I all planned. COVID shut that down too, thanks COVID. So we had the hotels, everything. I hadn't bought the airplane tickets. Like, so y'all want to get San Francisco back on the mount? But every year at spring break, me and the kids do we like national parks. I love hiking. I used to run marathons.
I saw that.
I don't run marathons since I've been on the bench yet. Right? But I ran the rock and roll marathon here in town 5 times.
Most people can't ever say they've run a marathon. You've done marathons.
Yeah, and I used to love it, right? Just the hard work of it, the satisfaction of doing something hard that few people do. But so this past March, we went to Zion National Park in Utah. But the year before that, we went to Yosemite National Park in California. We're going to Yellowstone, and what's on our map next year is Glacier or Olympia.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And I think I don't see enough Black people at these national parks. They are jewels. They are beautiful. They're so breathtaking. Just the peace that you find, the hiking. That's what we love as a family. I personally love it.
I like hiking too. I just like to see 1 or 2 other Black folk on the trail while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Just a little security for me. Little security.
Like one of the beautiful ones is Big Bend here in town. If you never tried Big Bend, it's a national park, but it's in Texas. Beautiful park.
Yeah. Judge Huff, thank you so much for coming on today. You are amazing. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you bring to the community, how you help people. The heart of a social worker.
I really do have the heart of a social worker. I'm a public servant.
I got you, girl. I got you. and congratulations on all of your success, your accolades, your awards.
Thank you.
We hope to see you do bigger and better things in the future.
Definitely. I'm on the ballot for November, right?
Nice.
I know I'm winning. I already bought my
November 8th. November 8th.
Yeah.
So definitely, y'all, please, let's go vote and keep her in position because you are doing an awesome job.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying
Thank
this
you.
next
Welcome to. Thank you for coming on Coffee Break.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
It was an honor. It was an honor.
Thank you.